Okay, so it was kataba li muallimina, but we want to say we want to make muallimina mudaf because we want to say the two teachers of the school. So when we add al mudrasati, the noon drops, so it becomes kataba li muallim mil madrasati, and then we add the kasra to ya, so it could join directly onto lam. Is that okay? You understand that, Nilofer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, there are 5 type of special words. Okay, this only applies to these words, and obviously these we need to know because these are like common words. So what happens is these 5 words, and these are their special feature for them is that when they are mudaf, they have certain characteristics. So these words are abun, which means father, hamun, which means father-in-law, akhun, which means brother, and famun, which means mouth. Okay. So what are the special features? Special features is that when they are nominative, they follow this. So they have this scale. So you could just memorize this, to be honest, but you could see there's a clear pattern. So the first letter has a fatha, and then the second letter has a dhamma, and then there's a vav, abu, which means father, hamu, which means father-in-law, ahu, brother, fu means mouth. This is all in nominative case when they're gonna be what? What did it say?
When they are mudaf.
When they are mudaf. When they're not mudaf, then they're normal. Then you read abun, hamun, akhun, famun. You don't use this. These are special, especially when they are in mudaf. That's when they are in what case? Nominative case.
Yeah.
Yes, and when they're in accusative case, they follow this scale. Again, there's fixed scale, right? So the first letter has a fatha, then the second letter gets a fatha as well. Then is alif, aba, hama, akha, and fa. Fa, you just need to notice it's not fama. It should be fama really, but it's fa. Same with the mean drops. The first one is fu, then second one is in nominative is fu, when it's mudaf, and when it's mudaf in accusative case is fa.
Yeah, in all other letters only noon drop. Why only for the moon? It's meme and noon drop.
Oh, when you say noon, you mean tanween?
Yeah, the last, yeah.
Yeah, so
Hakun is only noon dropped in all the 3 cases, but only for Famun, it's meme as well as noon. So 2 letters dropped.
Yes, so the tanween dropped and the meme dropped, yes. But the thing is, the good thing is that there's only this word. So these are the only words which are okay. That's fine. So these are the only words which have that. So in the fu, we just could remember the fu, fa, fi is specific to mouth when it's nominative. Sorry, when it's mudaf. So these are just like only 5 special words. So there's not many words. These are 4. There's a zoo as well.
But
also,
the fi means in, right?
Fi means in, but it could also mean mouth when it's genitive case. When it's genitive case and when it's mudaf. So for example, if you want to say in the mouth of the boy, you could say fi. So it means in the mouth of the boy, al-waladi. or something like that. It's very rare. You don't really I haven't really come across fee much, but you look at the context normally. Obviously 99.999% is gonna fee means in. When you see fee, it's in. But obviously if context says otherwise, then it can potentially mean might when it's mudaf. Because for example, if you have al-waladu fil bayti, here you clearly know the fee means. What does fee mean here?
Fee means in, yeah.
In here, of course it means in, because even it's context one thing. The second thing is if you meant mouth, then we said it's fee in genitive case. There must be something before him to make a genitive. Do you understand?
Yes.
So we just normally know from context. So so in genitive we have abi, hami, akhi, and fi. So father, father-in-law, brother, and mouth. And another word which sort of follows the same scale is zu. Zu means possessor of or master of. And it becomes like, again, that's when it comes as mudaf. It comes as mudaf. So it's zu in accusative nominative case, za in accusative case, in mansub case, zu in rough case, za in mansub case. So zu nominative, za in accusative, and zi in genitive. So here are some examples. So wasala Abu Muhammadin. So here you see Abu is the mudaf of Muhammad. It means father of Muhammad. And it's obviously nominative case. Why is it nominative? Because it's the subject of wasala. So wasala means to arrive. What is arriving? The father of Muhammad is arriving. So wasala Abu Muhammadin, the father of Muhammad arrived. So that's Abu. When it's number one is mudaf. Number one is it happens in mudaf. So that's when we could use it. And in this case, it's nominative. So it becomes Abu. Qatalu Aba Muhammadin. Shariza, here, can you tell me what case is Aba?
Yeah,
Sorry?
Abba is accusative.
Accusative, yes. And in this case, what else can you tell me about Aba here?
So you're asking the case answer?
Sorry?
It's in Nasab case, accusative.
Yes, it's accusative. But
Yeah.
what's the relationship between Aba and Muhammad?
It's Mulaf, sir.
Mudaf, yes. So again, this noun we said before, these apply only when the word comes in mudaf. So we determined that okay, this is mudaf number one because Muhammad is mudaf alayhi, and secondly, it's accusative. It becomes Aba. So here it becomes. So that's what we applied here. The first one we applied this. Second question we applied this. So Qatalu Aba Muhammadin. They killed Muhammad's father. Katabat.
But here, normally in the sentence, okay, after the verb, if it is accusative, so we consider that as an object. But if something, but the mudaf should be normally nominative, right?
No, there's nothing. Why should you? Because haven't we done examples? For example, we said the man, ar-rajulu, ar-rajulu. If you say the man is in the house of the boy, how do you say that?
Ar-rajulu fi al.
Fi, the house of the boy.
Yeah, house of the boy. Fi al waladi. Fi al waladi.
No, house, bait.
Fi al bait. Bait al waladi. Bait. Baitul Waladi.
Baitul.
House of the Bad. Baitu al Waladi.
Why is it Baitu?
Because it should be nominative.
No, there's no rules to say mudaf has to be nominative. The rule is that it doesn't have alif lam and doesn't have tanween.
Tanween. Okay.
But if there's fi before it, what's fi?
Fi means fi is preposition. So by
preposition. So when the noun before that is a preposition, then it must go into what case?
Genitive. Accusative.
Yeah, so it becomes
Baitil Rajuli.
Baitil dil waladi, right? Rajulu fi baitil waladi. So here it's mudaf, but it's not nominative, it's genitive. Similarly, you could have something like, for example, you could say, so you could say that, so if you say he reached, or he arrived to the house of the man. Oh, sorry, you say, but do you get what I'm saying? So it depends on the sentence. Yeah.
So okay, so mudaf need not be. Yeah, it should not be. It's not. It should only cannot take al or tanween, but it need not be nominative.
May not nominative. It could be genitive like here, yes. Or it could be accusative as well, depending on the circumstances. Because if it's the object like here, because
sometimes it can become accusative. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So here obviously it's accusative. Why is it accusative? Because subject is hidden here. They killed. Who done the killing? They done the killing. So they're the subject. These are subject. They killed. Yeah. Who did the kill? The father, right? So father Muhammad. So it becomes accusative. Aba Muhammad.
Object. So it becomes accusative. Okay.
Yeah. So again here you see that Muhammad. She wrote to Muhammad's father. So katabat, she wrote to Li Abi Muhammadin, the father of Muhammad. So Abi is mudaf. And where is we applying this? Because there's a word Li before it. Because there's a word Li before it. Where's it gone? Because there's a word before Li before it. The father becomes genitive. And we're saying the father of Muhammad, and obviously the father is mudaf, so it must follow the rule of what we covered before. So katabat li abi Muhammadin. Does it make sense? Okay, so also here another example is kana rajulun zu malin. The zu means possessor. When you say zu malin, it means possessor of wealth. Okay, so when you say possessor of wealth, what do we mean? A man who possessed wealth. What do we call him? A rich man, right? So we could say a rich man was in the Sultan's palace. So kana rajulun zu malin. A rich man was. Sorry, it is zu malin kathirin. A rich man was. It was in the palace. Qasr means palace, and mudaf layhi, qasri sultani, in the palace of the sultan. Or you could say a man possessing lots of wealth was in the palace of the sultan. But you could just say rich because somebody who possesses a lot of wealth is rich, right?
Mr. Sel, why not ghani, the word?
Because there's different ways of saying stuff. You could say kana rajulun ghaniyun fi qasr sultani. That's fine as well, but you know, but this is also correct. Like English, you know, we could say one sentence in like 10 different ways. So say Arabic is the same. So this is another way of saying it. Same way, tullabu means students, talamizatun means students as well. So it's just another way of saying it. Make sense?
Yeah, it's only that initially I'm a little bit getting confused. Even for the street, I think there are two words, Sha'ir and there's
Tariq.
another word. Yes.
Yeah. Do you understand the rules, the what we just done now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. If you don't understand anything, just let us know, because that's what I'm here for. Okay, this is what we've done. This rule we said what we learned before. What happens? But can something come between mudaf and mudaf ilayhi? Can adjective come between them? No. Adjective must always be after. So I don't think I need to spend too much time here. I think I understand this. So for example, if you want to say the old watch of the man, so watch of the man or man's watch is sa'atu rajuli, the watch of the man. Al-qadimatu, it becomes old watch of the man. Al-qadimatu is the adjective of sa'atu. Why? Because you can tell because it's accusative. Sorry, it's the nominative.
Both are nominative.
Yeah. So again, Baitu Muhammadin al-Kabiru. And obviously, Kabiru here again is the adjective of Baitu, the big house of Muhammad or Muhammad's large house. Something like here, Fi Baiti Muhammadin al-Kabiri. So what's al-Kabir here?
The big Muhammad.
It could be big Muhammad or it could be in the big house, because here there's nothing, because in this is genitive.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
these two are genitive too. So so it could mean the big house of Muhammad or means the house of big Muhammad. Also, so here he says if the genitive when he says genitive here, it's talking about mudaf. In this case, talking mudaf ilayhi. Refers to children, it must be followed the first, while the second takes the suffix of the personal pronoun. So basically what he's saying here is, if you want to say the house of the man and his garden, okay, when you say in English, we don't say the house we don't say the house of the minister and the garden of the minister. We would normally say the house of the minister and his garden, right? So when that's the case, what we're saying here is we say house of the minister is Baytul Waziri, and when you say his and his garden, we just say wa and Mustanuhu. Who means he, his. So it's attached pronoun. What I just explained in the start of the chapter. So it means the house of the minister and his garden. So here is mudaf ilayhi as well. Bustan is mudaf. Who is mudaf ilayhi? Means his garden. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And also here it says that when you do mudaf and mudaf ilayhi of body parts which occur in dual, like eyes, ears, hands, and so forth, you use the dual. Because why? They occur in pairs. They are two, you don't use the plural form. Plural form applies to three or more. So for example, we probably haven't done this. Ainun means, what does Ainun mean? I, it's singular. I, singular, yes, singular. Its plural is ayunun, which refers to three or more. Three or three plus, three or more. So here it tells you that we're going to use a dual. So it becomes, what's the dual of Ainun? Ainani. In what case? In?
Genitive.
No.
That's nominative.
Ainani is nominative.
Yeah, Ainani nominative. So here it tells you it becomes Ainal Binti because the noon drops. Nilofer, what does noon drop here? Why is it not Ainal Binti? Why is it Ainal Binti? Because it's mudaf, yes?
Yes.
So when dual and sign plural and mudaf, it can't take noon, okay? Okay, you may say you're taking noon here, but here it's not sign plural. It's ayunun is what plural is this? It's broken plural. That's why we have ayunun. It's not ayuna, ayunun. So here I just give you some other examples to say that if you want to say a piece of meat, you could say qit'atu lahmin, a piece of meat. It's not a lahmi because it says a piece of the meat. It says a piece of meat. Qit'atu lahmin. Finjanu qahwatin, a cup of coffee. Kursiyu khashabin, a chair of wood. Or another way of saying a chair of wood, we could say another way of saying is a wooden chair. Right? Just rephrasing. So here it just tells you, when it refers to a piece of meat, cup of coffee, chair of wood, we could use the harf jar min instead of using idafa. So you could say qit'atun min lahmi. So it means literally means a piece from the meat, right? You could, instead of saying qit'atu, it has a similar meaning. Qit'atu lahmin, which means piece of meat. When I say piece of meat, what do you mean? Piece of meat also means a piece from the meat, right?
Yeah.
So it's just telling you that when occurs in such circumstances, you could just say qit'atun min lahmin, a piece from the meat. Oh, and a wooden chair or a chair of wood, what does it mean? It's made from the wood, right? So it's kursiyun min khashabin, chair from wood. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. And it's the same thing, we're just doing idafa in different circumstances. So something what you can also use idafa for is sometimes it occurs after an adjective to define or limit its application. So for example, qalilul aqli, qalil means little, aql means intellect. So it means little of intellect or little of understanding. And then, sometimes in Arabic, as we advance more, we learn that sometimes, instead of saying little of understanding, we can just use the word stupid, right? Same thing, isn't it? Because if you want to say somebody is little of understanding or little of intellect, what are you saying? You're saying just stupid, right? Again, kathirul mali, abundant of wealth. Kathir means abundant or lots of wealth. When you say somebody has lots of wealth, what are we saying? Is rich, right? Again, hasanul wajhi, handsome of face. Another way of saying handsome face, right? Handsome or handsome face, yes. Okay, so here I'm just telling you this. There's some words in Arabic which come as mudaf to express a quality. For example, zu we covered before. Zu malin means possessor of wealth. Similarly, we have what's the feminine for the zu? Is zatu. Zatu. In when it's mudaf and it's nominative. In genitive, it's sorry. In that's okay. So zatu, it's nominative. Zata is the dual. Zawatu is the plural. Okay, so if you look at, for example, here, and sahibu is another word. So sahibul ilmin, sahib means master or owner. So when you say sahibul ilmin, it means master of learning. Sahib means like, similar to Urdu as well, like master of learning, which means he's learned. So you could say huwa sahibu ilmin, which means he is learned. He is master of learning. Or like we've done just now, you could say huwa zatu hasanin. He is the possessor of beauty. I think here it'd be probably more. I'm not sure why it's Zatu. It should be Zu hasanin. Or you could say Abu Lisa Naini. So these are like expressions, if you could like, in Arabic. So there's no other way of explaining them, to be honest. So for example, Abu Lisa Naini means father of two languages, two tongues. What does this assembling mean? I don't know.
Sorry.
It says disassembling. What does it mean?
Disanini.
Sorry?
Disanini means?
It's, the word here, it says dissembling. Okay. Oh, okay. So it means like the father of two tongues, which sort of means that he's concealing something, or he's been like two-faced.
Yeah, somebody who's not keeping his words.
Yes. So he's not straightforward. He's not like he's Abu Lisanaini. He's his master or father of two tongues, which means it's an expression. Like you could say, I think these best way to express them, explain them are like these are like sort of expressions. Again,
Idioms,
sorry.
Idioms in English.
Sorry.
Like idioms in English.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes. You could say that. These are just like a manners where the Arab express themselves, like Sahibu Ilmin, the master of learning. You could say idiom. I don't know, like if that's the best way to describe it, but it's like if you want to say somebody's learned, you could just say Sahibul Ilmi, master of learning. Or if you say somebody's beautiful, you could say, instead of saying Huwa Hasanun, he's handsome, you could say Huwa Zu Hasanin. He the same, it means the same thing. Again, there's another one, Ibnu Khamsina Sanatan. If you want to say he's 50 years old. There's other ways of saying 50 years old, but if you want to say, if you say Ibnu Khamsina Sanatan, he is the father, he's the son of 50 years, literally. But don't worry about these. I think these, as you do more and more, it becomes easier. And like Bruhan pointed out earlier, these, what we've just done now, these are often replaced by simple adjectives, right? So instead of saying, sorry, okay, Zatu Hasanin here, I think here is talking about a girl here. So here, Zatu Hasanin. So because here is feminine, so that's why Zat is feminine. So here what I'm saying is, you could just say, instead of saying she is, you know, if you want to say she is beautiful, instead of saying here Zatu Hasanin, you could just say here Jamilatun. Same with other words. You know, if you want to say he is the master of learning, you could say Huwa Alimun. Alimun means learned. If you want to say, like, you know, these words, like if you want to say stupid, you have balid in Arabic, which we haven't done before, or rich, for example, which Burhan pointed out, kathirul mali. You could just say huwa ghaniyun instead of say huwa kathirul mali. You could say huwa ghaniyun. So there are simpler way of simple adjectives you could just replace to say the same thing. And here we have vocab. So Abun means father, and in brackets he has Abu to indicate that it's gonna be, it's one of those 5 nouns, which is Abu in when it's mudaf, in nominative Aba when it's accusative, Abi when it's genitive, and plural is Abaun. Plural is normal. Plural doesn't change. Abaun, and same for Hamun, father-in-law, Ahmaun, plural. And same with Hamu, Hama, Hami when it's mudaf. Brother is Akhun. Farhana, are you there? You understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Akhu, Akha, Akhi when is what? Mudaf. Its plural is Ikhwanun. Famun is mouth. Afwahun is plural. Zu, we covered before, is possessor of. Qasrun is palace. Qusurun is palaces or castles, plural. Qit'atun means a piece. Qit'un is the plural. These are broken plurals, as you can see. Lahmun is meat. Khashabun is wood. Aqlun means intellect. Aqulun means intellects, like plural. So here, if you look at these, like again, when you're translating, this may help. Like, you know, if you look at these words, these have like could mean mind, could mean intellect, could mean intelligence. So you gotta use the correct word when translating. Malun means wealth or property. Amwalun is the broken plural. Wajhun means face. Wujuhun is a broken plural. Sahibun means friend, companion, or master. Like we've done master, we've done sahibul ilmin, master of learning. So it depends on the context. Sahibun, ashabun. So when you say ashabun Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it means his companions. So that's what it comes to, right? Lisanun means tongue. Al-sinatun is plural. Qabilatun means a tribe. Qaba'ilu is broken plural. Lukmatun means a morsel or bite, like bite of, like morsel of food. Lukamun is the plural. Iron means hadid. So this is the metal iron, not the iron we don't iron our clothes with, but rather the metal. Sheikhun means sheikh, as in somebody who's learned, but sheikh also can refer to old man or tribal leader. Shuyukhun is a broken plural. Hujratun is room. Hujurun is a broken plural. Matbakhun, kitchen. Madabihu is kitchen also. Nasun means people or men. Here it's just, you could see it's used, it's like a collective noun. It's used for plural, many people. Isa'un, again, woman. It's like a collective noun. It refers to multiple women, more than three or more. Tajirun is merchant. Tujarun is broken plural. Waqa'a means to fall, befall, happen. These are verbs now. Waqa'a, past tense. So waqa'a means he fell or it happened. Wada'a to means to place, to put. Wada'a means to, just translate it. He placed, or some. Hamala to carry, obey. Nazara to see. Nazara ila to look at. So when you have the to look at, you're going to use nazara ila. You're going to use this harf jar, this preposition. Very is jiddan. This word just come normally put it at the end, like hasanun jiddan. Very good. So here, even though it just happens in accusative case. You just have to learn. So if you want to say hasanun, normally you would think, okay, good is the noun, and jiddan should be jiddun because it's adjective, but here it's jiddan. It's just going to remain the same. Al-Iraqu means Iraq. So it is proper noun takes alif lam. Al-Iraqu. So the first question, Waqa'a. Farhana, do you want to help us do this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Waqa'a ibnul muallimil saghiru ala al-ardi. Waqa means to fall or to happen, right?
Yes. Waqa ibnu al-muallimi al-saghiru al-ardi.
Yes.
So Waqa is to fall.
Yes.
Son of the teacher. And Sagiru is the adjective of Ibnu.
Okay. So what's the verb here? Yeah. Because
Maulimi is genitive.
Okay.
And Sagiru is nominative.
Okay. So it matches Ibnu in case, so we know it's okay.
Yes. Yeah. And because it is mudaf, so it doesn't carry al.
Yeah, Ibn doesn't carry al because
Ibn
it's
doesn't
mudaf.
carry al because it's mudaf. So
but
the
it's
small son.
Yeah.
Yes, the small son of the teacher fell on the ground or earth.
Yes, that's good. Yeah. So what's the verb? Is falling. What's the subject? The son of the teacher, the little son of the teacher.
Yeah.
Who fell. Yeah, that's good. Nilofer, you want to do this one?
Sir.
حمل التاجر الكتب الجديدة وذهب للمدرسة. حمل means to carry or to bear.
To carry. Carry. التاجر الكتب means كتب letter.
No, كتب in the letter. What's كتب, Nadir?
The book.
Books.
Books.
Yes, it's the plural of kitabun.
Kitab.
Yes, kutub is books, plural, broken plural of kitabun.
So book of merchant. Tajir. It is not mudaf because always.
Yeah, okay.
Book of merchant al-Jadidata. Old book.
No, Jadida means new.
Jadid, a new book of merchant.
Okay, yeah, let's take it slowly. So what's the verb here?
Verb is carry.
Hamala, right? Carry is past tense, so it's carried. So who's doing the carrying? Who's the subject here?
Tajir is carrying.
So how do you say? So how are you going to start? Tajir, you know what Tajir is?
Tajir, the merchant carried the book, the new book.
The merchant carried the new books.
Carried the new book.
So what's al-kutuba in this sentence?
Al-kutuba is an object.
Yes.
Object of that.
Yeah, object. Why do you use object? Because it's accusative.
Accusative.
And what about al-jadidata? What's that?
It's the adjective of that book.
Yeah. Why is it feminine? Why is this feminine? Singular?
Because we broken plural is so it's feminine.
Because al-kutubu is broken plural, number one, and it's non-human being, non-male human being. So when broken, so it's considered feminine singular for agreement purposes. So al-jadidata is feminine. So the merchant carried the new books.
The new books. Was zahaba. And zahab means went.
Yeah.
And went. Lil madrasati.
What's the verb? What's the subject here? Who went?
Same Tajir.
Tajir, is the Tajir mentioned separately here?
Nahi.
Yes.
Yes.
So when Tajir. No, is mentioned after the verb. So when the noun is not mentioned after the verb separately, then the pronoun within the within the verb must be the subject.
Yes.
So what's the pronoun hidden within the subject? He. Zahaba, he and he went to the madrasa.
And he went to the madrasa.
To the school, yes.
Yes. So the merchant carried the new book and went.
The new books and went to the school.
To the school.
Okay. 1 minute left. We can start a new meeting when this finishes and do the next question. So just waiting for this to finish.